everyone, welcome to the DU Greekcast. I'm your host, Cameron Lowe, also president of Kappa Alpha Order. I'm joined here today with Will Christie, Sigma News president, Wesley Davis, LCA's president, and Parker Stilley, Sigma Pi's president. Thank you guys for joining. I'm so glad y'all could be here. How are y'all doing today?
Good.
Doing swell. Already hit the gym once.
I mean, I'm just glad classes are over for the week.
Yeah. Classes were rough this week for sure. All right, this show is going to be talking to different members each week from each chapter about what it's like to be in a fraternity here at Drury University. Hopefully just to answer any questions people might have about Greek life and just shine some light on these chapters here. Just some quick history about Greek life. It started back in Drury in 1907, and there's some of the top donors here at Drury University. Also, there are 4 fraternities and 4 sororities here at Drury. Those fraternities being Kappa Alpha Order, Lambda Chi Alpha, Sigma Nu, and Sigma Pi, and those sororities being Pi Beta Phi, Delta Delta Delta, Zeta Tau Alpha, and Kappa Delta. All right, so each week I got a trivia question here for Greek life. So this week's trivia question is, what percentage of the campus is Greek?
Not enough.
Good answer.
It's like 20, isn't it?
Somewhere in there, yeah.
Damn.
I'm going to say 32.
32. You guys are right around it. It's 25 to 30%. All right, so then we're going to get into some social events. This is just going to be a time where you guys can just mention whatever social events you guys got coming up just to get the word out there. So for us, we're not going to be having any social events for a while. When we do, we're hopefully having our haunted house on Halloween, so we'll have more details come closer to the date.
Ongoing throughout the semester, we're going to be raising money for the sort of restoration of Hawaii due to the wildfires that are taking place down there. On the 22nd, we're having a party. Another party happening next month, and then we're going to do a bit of a Greeksgiving event, sort of a potluck deal.
Fun stuff.
Nice. Yeah, so we've got our Watermelon Fest coming up. That's our big philanthropy event. We work with the Ozarks Food Harvest. We throw on like a field day type of deal with a bunch of watermelon-themed activities. It's a great time. It'll be at noon on September 23rd. And then we've also got our next party coming up. That'll be September 29th. It's our 40s and cheese balls party. So that's going to be like a white trash kind of theme. It's a fun time. You get free cheese balls. So
Sounds like a lot of fun.
For Sig Pi, we have a party on Friday the 13th of October. We have a lot of little events that we don't have dates or time set out, but we're hoping to have them this semester or next semester.
All right, thank you. Thank you, guys. Every episode, I'm going to be asking people why they decided to join a fraternity and how it has impacted your college experience. So, Will, you want to go first and just let us know why you joined and how it's affected you throughout your college experience?
Yeah, it was an interesting process. Initially, I was pretty anti-Greek. I kind of wanted nothing to do with it, and then slowly got to know some of the brothers, started taking an interest, and saw that there's a bit more going on here than what everybody imagines based on, the stereotypes that are common. Sort of saw some of the guys who were actually preparing themselves to graduate and some of the success that they'd had in their university experience, and found myself wanting some similar experiences and some similar skill sets. So picked up on it, learned as much as I could, and here I am now.
Awesome. Wesley?
yeah, I kind of had a similar experience. I know I started college just like vehemently against fraternities. Like I didn't want to join. And I actually met a friend from high school, and he kind of convinced me to come around Halloween, spent some time with some of the guys, do some Halloween stuff, and it was a really great time. I was pretty isolated on campus when I started coming here. I was a commuter, so kind of like treating Drury like a day job, and didn't stick around much. So it gave me a real good opportunity to come around and be more involved on campus. Good time.
Awesome. All right, Parker?
When I first came to Drury, I was terrified. I mean, being a freshman was probably the scariest moment of my life. And then I met some of the Sigma Pi's on campus. And they presented a brotherhood to me. And I wanted to be part of something bigger than me, and give to the community. Well, that's what they gave me. They gave me a brotherhood that I cherish almost every day I'm on campus. And they also give me events I love going to, helping clean up rivers or cleaning up sidewalks. The biggest thing was brotherhood, I gotta say.
Yeah, for sure. For me, I kind of knew I wanted to join a fraternity. Coming to college, I just didn't really know anything about it, and I mean that rush week really just kind of helped answer a lot of questions I had about everything. All right, so you guys are also all presidents of your chapters. So, tell me the steps it took for you guys to get to the position you guys are in now, because obviously it wasn't one day you woke up, oh, I'm going to be president of my fraternity. It took some time. So, Wesley, you want to start us off with that one?
Yeah, so like I said, kind of when I joined Lambda Chi, I wasn't super involved. I didn't really like the experience I was getting out of it because I wasn't putting a whole lot in, so I wasn't getting a great experience out of it. And originally I ran for our ritualist position. I was high five for a year, and then decided I wanted to take a bigger step up, and kind of after establishing a bit of a base and like proving that I can handle some responsibility, I decided that being president would be a good step up. It's been fantastic. Getting involved on campus and just feeling like I can represent my chapter in a really respectable way has been important to me.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Parker?
At first, when I joined Sig Pi, I didn't want to do anything on the executive council. It terrified me, that responsibility. And as I got to know the chapter more, I realized that I wanted to make a change. My chapter was having an issue with having events, trying to get stuff on campus. And I said I wanted to be the leader of that. I wanted to have people look up to me. And I ran. Most of my brothers kept trying to get me to run too. So I ran. I became president. It's probably the best choice I ever made. It's stressful, I gotta say. Being a president is one of the most stressful things in a fraternity.
For sure.
People look up to me, and that's probably the best part of it. People look up and say, you're doing a great job, and thank you for leading. And that's probably the best, like I said, best part of being a president.
Yeah, that is the best part. Just whenever someone just stops and says thank you, like you truly making a difference it's awesome.
When I first became president, I was told it was a thankless job.
It is. It is.
It really is.
For sure. Yeah. All right, Will.
Sigma Nu kind of was an incredible period of growth for me. Came out of high school doing some pretty stereotypical high school mullet-based activities and got into Sigma Nu, met a bunch of the older guys, as I mentioned earlier, and they kind of brought me along and showed me, hey, there are things here that need to be done that are not entirely wastes of time and or space. And one of the big things is the gym. We all started hitting the gym just recently as sort of homage to some of the alumni who've graduated recently. There's this theme revolving around the chapter bench record, and everybody's been chasing that since the early 2008s. Some guy benched like 500, and everybody's trying to get it.
That's insane.
So a lot of mobility that was generated there through me and Waka, who's a guy who graduated, towards getting the whole team in the gym, and everybody's sort of looked at that as a big mobilization, and I keep everybody on track in that regard, so they kind of just made me the head honcho because keep the guys focused, keep the guys on point, and everybody does their job well.
For me, I was our chapter's ritualist as well, and before that I didn't really ever see myself taking a position. I told myself coming into college, I was like, all right, you're not going to get involved, you're just going to take time for yourself, and I ended up just doing a lot of stuff like I normally do. And so then, I was our ritualist, and then I became vice president after that. I took that position mainly because there wasn't a senior class in our chapter at the time. And so all us juniors, we felt like we had to step up to the plate and build off of what we had been building on and what we wanted to accomplish. And so then going into junior year, I guess, then I was like, I guess I could step up and just kind of build off of what we've been doing. And I've heard it multiple times, the thankless job quote, and it is. I think you all could agree. So let's get into the overview of the fraternities. So in your guys' minds, what is a fraternity? Parker, you want to start us off?
The key word that comes to mind when someone says fraternity is brotherhood. Being together, doing stuff together. It's not just paying for friends. You're part of a bigger organization that networks. I went to a leadership conference, I think 2 weeks ago, and met some of my brothers from other universities and colleges. And, I mean, being able to meet these people gives you the opportunity to grow as a person. And taking a leadership role helps with that. It gives you skills that you may not have yet and may be incredibly important in the future.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I got to go to our convention this summer, and that was an awesome experience, just being able to see everything on a national level like that. All right, Will, you want to tell us?
Yeah, I think one of the highlights of how I would define fraternity is your functionality within a group setting, because sort of as I came up on things, I ran service and philanthropy for 2.5 years, I think. And it was very interesting to see from that side of things how the entire chapter can mobilize towards a common goal. So the example I'll give is one guy's on flyers, another guy's on event planning, another guy's buying materials and getting things confirmed with campus. And the sort of mobility that you can find within the pecking order of the group, I think, is leaps and bounds above anything that I could have learned at a basic university experience.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Wesley.
Yeah, I agree a lot with Parker, what you said. For me, it's a genuine like home. A lot of the guys are some of my closest friends, genuinely brothers to me. On Drury specifically, I think being in a fraternity is a unique experience compared to what you might get at like a state college, like an SEC school. We have a pretty unique opportunity with a smaller campus to redefine what it means to be in Greek life and to change a lot of the stigmas that come with being in a fraternity. And so we have a lot of responsibility as well. It's not just, like a brotherhood, but also we're kind of overseeing a pretty important change in Greek life here on campus.
Yeah, definitely. For me, yeah, going out of COVID and everything, Greek life is at an all-time low, honestly. Like, recruitment was struggling, and people just weren't really coming out to anything, and we couldn't have events. So that just took a big hit on us. But in my mind, yeah, it's that brotherhood aspect mixed with, yeah, that responsibility. We gotta build to be better, for sure. It's just been a great way to, yeah, meet a bunch of guys who I can call my lifelong friends. I truly don't view it like I'm paying for friends. I know that's a big stigma. So Wesley, you kind of hit on this a little bit. So what's it like to be in a fraternity here at Drury, and how is it different from those bigger schools? You want to start us off with that one?
Yeah. So I think a lot of what you get in a fraternity at maybe a bigger school, you get a lot of a different experience. You get experiences with guys of, frankly, lower moral character, guys who are more interested in like hazing you and not treating their new guys very well, instead of fostering a genuine brotherhood, like some of you guys have mentioned. We're here to do more than just hang out and party and be friends. We're here to better our community, to serve our campus, and to do a lot of really important stuff on campus. So being here at Drury with a smaller college gives a really cool opportunity to turn Greek life from what you typically expect, that type of like Animal House Greek life, into something a little more noble and a little better for our communities and the people on our campus.
Yeah, definitely. Parker, you got anything on that?
I gotta agree with everything he said. I mean, it's breaking the stereotype. We are, as a smaller college and smaller fraternities, we have to break the stereotype that bigger fraternities put out of hazing. I can't tell you the amount of times I've been asked, do you haze? Or is there any hazing going on? I mean, I think hazing is a horrible thing. You've seen it on the news. You've seen people die. You've seen people get injured from it. And breaking that stereotype is probably the hardest thing to do. And that's the difference between us and big universities, that we were so adamant on stopping hazing here at Drury and in our Greek life. And the big thing about Greek life is that all the chapters get along. We all communicate. It's not some division we have. We are all Greek life here, including sororities.
Yeah, no, to hit on that, I do feel like from time to time, we've got our differences and everything, but like, I mean, for the most part, I feel like we kind of understand what everyone wants to accomplish, and we want you guys to grow as much as you would probably want us to grow, because we all need each other at the end of the day. to make this successful. What about you, for you, Will?
I think something that is worth mentioning when comparing us to some of these larger universities, due to Drury being a relatively small school, and this applies to the larger campus as well, but I think Greek life more specifically, like I know on a human level every one of my brothers. Like I know their ins and outs, they're incredibly good buddies, and like, you know, the cliche of I'd take a bullet for those guys, like that's how it is. That's how good I know these guys. And then speaking on the basis of these larger schools, because I've got buddies who are in the way like 800 size class fraternities that are like, oh, I know maybe a dozen guys. And it's like, well, how are you in a fraternity where you only know this incredibly finite amount of people? Because that's just mind-boggling to me from the fact that I know not only my active guys that well, but like a relative amount of our alumni class that well too. So I think the peer-to-peer level that Drury has is something that needs to be touched on. So I think the smaller side of this school is definitely a benefit.
No, to touch on that, yeah, all the guys in my chapter, I'd hang out with any of them, and whenever we're going to eat, like, we'll just text on the group chat and be like, hey, anyone going to eat? I really enjoy just that spontaneous kind of hanging out. So if someone was interested in being in a fraternity, what would you say the process of becoming an active is like? So like from the moment you step on campus till the moment you become an active, what does that look like? You got anything, Will?
I think that it's incredibly overwhelming in a good way, because obviously going to college is a major change in itself. And then you're meeting a whole new group of guys, and obviously all these guys are more successful than you are because you're fresh on campus. You haven't even finished your first classes yet. So it's like there's the whole concept of finals, and then there's the whole concept of the fraternity. And then speaking for my chapter, we've got great alumni involvement. So you're meeting these guys who graduated 10, 20, 30 years ago, and they're wanting to know about you as a human being. Like you're not even an active yet, and they're trying to get to know you, which is pretty impressive on like a human level, because then you think, wow, these guys are genuinely interested in me. Like they think I have the potential to be that caliber of human being that this chapter produces. So it's kind of wild to show up thinking like I don't know a single human being on this campus, and then the next thing you know, you're rubbing elbows with like the millionaires that came out of the chapter, and it's a whirlwind, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Wesley?
Yeah, so the process of kind of becoming involved in Greek life is mainly focused on that first or second week of school during rush week. And it's a really unique opportunity to just kind of get to find your footing, I guess, on campus as an incoming freshman. Just being able to go to all these different events and meet all these new guys and really find a place where you can belong on campus is just the biggest part of becoming a Greek member. And then all the fraternities are going to do it differently, but typically for the specifics, you'll go through some kind of education process, and then you'll get initiated. But all of it pretty much starts that first or second week in rush week. That's where you kind of decide where you'd like to call home on campus.
Yeah. Parker?
So, like Will was saying, it's overwhelming. You come to college, and you're getting everything thrown at you. I mean, the first week you have at Drury, you go through this orientation, which gets you used to Drury. You get to see this beautiful fireworks show, and then you get thrown into school. And having Greek life there is probably one of the best things. It's kind of like a support structure. And becoming a new member, you get to see how the fraternity works. You get to see everything that happens in the fraternity. And one of the best parts is the networking. When I joined, they showed me their friends, and I became friends with them, and it just grew outwards. And like Will was saying, it's overwhelming.
Yeah, it definitely is. I would agree with you guys that first week of college was definitely overwhelming a bit, just trying to figure out what is going on here. Like, it feels like, for me, it felt like I was at summer camp for that first orientation weekend. I don't know if you guys felt like that at all. Just like, oh, shoot, I can literally do anything right now. Like I could, I don't know, just go hang out with my friends, or I can go play spike ball. I mean, getting Greek life into your schedule, like for that first fall semester right away, I think is important, yeah, for that structure, because every one of our chapters, you know, we provide like academic help, and we want people to succeed in academics because that's the reason everyone's here in the first place. And then, yeah, providing those connections for sure, because once you get out into the work world, like just saying you're a member of whatever fraternity you're in gives you kind of a leg up in some situations. All right, so more kind of on the fun side, what is the best story or memory you have for Greek life? Parker, you got anything?
This was my freshman year. We do this community service event where we go to the watershed, which is the riverway that runs through Springfield, and we clean. Going through there with my brothers, picking up all this trash, probably one of the best experiences. We found, you wouldn't believe what we found. I think we found 4 tires. We had enough stuff to build a car, almost. I mean, it was crazy. But getting in the water, picking up trash, watching some of my brothers slip and fall, I mean, it gave me probably the best memories I would have at Drury.
Did you guys find anything for the break or bounce thing you guys do?
Oh, I didn't think about taking that.
All right, Wesley, you got anything?
Yeah, so I would probably say for one of the more recent up there memories, it's got to be, you know, we did a joint party with y'all, actually.
That was a lot of fun.
Over the Chiefs game for the Super Bowl about a year ago now, I guess. But I honestly don't care about football, but that was a great time. Just getting to hang out with everybody, meet some of the other guys and some of the other chapters on campus. Coming together was a lot of fun. Really, really enjoyable event, even for those of us who are less interested in sports, I suppose. And I'll never forget my vice president breaking a table of ours, hitting it with the people's elbow after the Chiefs won. It's stuff like that makes Greek life really worth it. Just the fun little, sometimes appropriate memories that are always going to stick with you.
Yeah. No, that party was a lot of fun. Like, I've never seen the quad with that many people in it at one time. COVID really kind of messed that up for us all. And, I mean, that was the first time I was like, wow, we're making substantial steps here. But, yeah, we had one of our guys tape some skis to his feet and go down the stairs. And there was just a whole crowd around. They were all cheering for him. It was awesome after that win. Will, what's your best memory?
Too many to pick from, but if I had to pick one, I'll mention an alumni poker night that we had my sophomore year. So that was like the 2021 fall, maybe. We all sat around and played a whole bunch of poker and shot some pool. And then one of the alumni, who was one of the first classes to live in our house now, kind of picked up our pool table. We used to have a solid slate table. We don't anymore because of this story. And one of the legs broke off of it when he picked it up. So then the common thought process was, well, it's broken anyway, so it went off the porch. And then the next day, we got a check in the mail from the dude who broke it initially and just bought a new one. So it was pretty cool.
That's funny. For me, I think it'd be POL sophomore year when we did the Umbrella Tom Holland version on stage. And then we, like, at one point when Tom Holland and his, like, the rain was coming down, we couldn't do that in there. We were going to have water bottles and, like, but they wouldn't allow us to do that. So we did, we just, like, all hit the floor and we all ripped our shirts at the same time. And it was just, like, people were screaming. That was probably one of the best moments, like, just the overall, like, adrenaline rush we got just going out on the stage. We were just all so nervous backstage, and it was so much fun. All right, that's going to be all for the first episode of Do Greekcast. Thank you guys so much for being here today, and thanks for everybody for watching. New episodes will be coming out every Monday at 7. This series is leading up to a live show that'll be with Drury's President John Beuerlein, Associate Dean of Students Chip Parker, and the Director of Greek Life Anna Stark. This will be held in the FSC Ballroom October 17th at 7 p.m. Remember to check out all these guys' events. Be doing some cool events in these upcoming weeks. So that's all for this episode. Thank you all. See you next time.